recording. So we are now live and we are being recorded. So again, hello everyone. Happy New Year. I believe this is the first blab that we're doing for the new year. So go ahead and say hi, everyone. I'm very excited about today's topic. Because today's topic was something that actually transformed my life. And we have Miss Tanisha on, and we're going to have her on a little bit, and she's going to be sharing what she does. And I wanted her on because, and Ida, you can come back. You can come on when you can. I'm going to make you a co-host here. And what I want to do today's format is going to be this. I'm going to give a little bit of a brief introduction, and I'm going to go ahead and give some definitions. Hi, Tanisha. And today we're going to be talking about morning. How you doing today? Happy Thursday.
Yes.
Good to have you on. We're going to be talking about basically personal development and the role that personal development plays in you fulfilling your purpose. It's also, when we're talking about purpose, but some of the things we're talking about is in general with the subject of success as well. Yes. So we're also going to be giving our own personal definition of personal development, how we got into it, share your stories, and then what you're currently doing to actively develop yourself in 2016 to make sure that 2016 is your best year. Amen. And I know one of the things that you say, because I've seen some of your videos, and I'm like, yes, I agree. Is that it's not just a resolution, it's a lifestyle. I'm like, yes, you have to be in it you have to be sold out and going for the long haul. So let me go ahead and start. I am a Christian life coach as well as a regular life coach, but I like to use Christian principles because I know they work with my clients. I'm also a professional speaker. I'm a licensed minister. And in addition to that, I am a writer, but by the end of this year, my goal is to be a published author as well. So everything that I'm trying to do, this is what I do. Why I do that is because I'm trying to basically inspire and empower people to go out and live their best lives. It irks me. Everybody has a passion for something that basically they're drawn towards, something that repels them, something that makes them, feel a little bit, I use the word irked, but, for me, it's when I see people that are living below their potential, people that are not, are not going to that, are not living out their potential, basically. So, it's been said that the richest place on earth is the graveyard, because that's where books that haven't been written, songs that haven't been sung, speeches that were never given, they exist there.
Amen.
So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I had you on here because you're going to talk about health. For me, personal development is basically investing in yourself and improving yourself. Someone says sometimes we upgrade our, electronic devices from year to year, but we don't upgrade ourselves. And we wonder what's going on. I'm going to do a video, my next Monday call on Say No to Insanity 2016.
I love it.
You're doing the same thing over and over again and you're expecting something different. It doesn't work that way. So really quickly, my story of personal development was this and how I got into it. It wasn't but a few years ago. I had a marriage at the time. It was dissolving. She had filed the divorce papers. I had finished school and college, but it was during the time of the recession. Everyone was telling me they didn't have a job. I had so my health was bad because of the stresses of that relationship. I went to the doctor. The doctor was like, you're going to have to be getting frequent massages because you have developed a knot in your back. That was there. My finances were were bad. And I just remember myself just lying down on the bed and looking at the ceiling. And, I had my faith, thank goodness, and thank God. But at the same time, nothing else was working. And I was wondering what in the world is going on. See, because I'm not someone that goes to church or has my faith just to have it. I'm looking for truth. Something isn't right here, and I just felt like I was just at rock bottom. And when I was there, one of the thoughts that came to my mind was, those things happened. What are you going to do now? And I believe that, I credit it to God, was the inspiration to just start that personal development. And one of the guys that I ran into was Jim Rohn and his teachings. He had passed away at the time. But one of the things that he said that was really rang true in my head was, if you will change, everything will change. But if you don't change, nothing will change. So it was like, what are you going to do, Wale, to make sure that it basically empowered me to know that I had things that I could do from day to day that could better me. And when I look at my life and all the things, the responsibilities I have, even at church, being able to speak every month, me wanting to be a speaker, me going on Blab, thinking I'm going to add value to other people, me having confidence. I was the same guy that, didn't like crowds, didn't want to be around people, didn't think I had anything to offer. But everything was changing. I was developing. So this is very key, because a lot of people are going to say, I have these goals, I have these dreams, I have these aspirations that I want. But what are you going to do to better yourself, to make sure that you can actually achieve these things that you say you want to achieve in 2016 and beyond, to make sure that you're not just going through the same cycle? So I'm going to go ahead and stop here, because I'm going to give you a chance to say something.
Okay.
And again, so go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself. I know some things about you in regards to health and all, but go ahead and tell people that might not know a little bit about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I am Tanisha Shanae. I am an international lifestyle expert and author of this amazing book, Transition to a Healthier You, How I Lost Over 140 Pounds and You Can Too. And I will let everyone know where they can get this book. So my journey and my purpose started with weight loss. On one night, it was a Monday night, October 15th, 2012, I got on a scale, and instead of me seeing a number, I received 2 letters. And those 2 letters indicated I was over the limit for the scale that I had. And I still had the box, and I looked at the box and it said capacity 350. For anyone out there, 350 pounds means that I was knocking on 400 pounds.
Wow.
And I remember sitting down on the side of my bed, and I just started crying. And I just started crying. I just started talking to God. And I was just like, I said, I need your help. And I just kept on, and I just kept on. I cried for about 15, 20 minutes. And then I just got this burst of energy to go into my kitchen. I literally cleaned house, cleaned anything out. It was a Monday. So, we go food shopping over the weekend. I had to throw all the brand new packs of bread, juice. But I realized if it's unhealthy, it doesn't belong here. And I just started to get rid of it that day. And I woke up the next morning and I just did the same thing over. I just prayed again. Now, for anyone that knows me for my entire life, I am not the most religious person. I do believe in God, but I never had that relationship. So for me, when I was on Weight Watchers, I was doing e-diets, trying to get consultations for weight loss surgery in the past. I never had him as part of my journey. So when people ask me, so how did you lose the weight? The first thing I tell them is, do you pray? And they're like, yeah, I pray. I pray for money. I pray for a new job. I said, but you're not praying for your health. I said, you're not praying for that strength to get you to the place where you want to be. I said, once I started to do that, the pounds started to come off. In 362 days, I lost 100 pounds. In 17 months, I lost 150. And it's been over 3.5 years. And for me, that was one of the first things. Now, that was just the beginning. That was just me losing weight. I didn't think nothing of it, but people started to gravitate towards me. And I became an inspiration as people started to tell me. So Facebook, the before and after pictures, I got my first client in 2013. She calls me, and this is a woman who did not know me. She just followed me on Facebook, and she just believed so much in my story. And once I wrote my book, she was just like, we have to work together. Like, you're doing something that I need. She's deep into her faith. And even she admitted, she was like, I'm here praying that God is going to approve my weight loss surgery. And now you're telling me that I need to pray for the strength to avoid the temptation. I said, exactly. So I went really through the first 2 years not understanding what my purpose was. I just really enjoyed helping people. I was like you. I never imagined being in the forefront, being in the spotlight. I was always one that goes to the back, and I'm like, look, I'll motivate you and I'll push you to the front, you know. But I'm like, nah, I'm okay. I'll stay back here. And I would never forget August 2014. At the time, I was teaching adults, and I was sitting at my desk, and I just felt like God was just telling me it's time to do something different. That's all I kept hearing. I kept feeling that way. Like I did love teaching, but it was like I need to do something more. And at the very same time, so I had this feeling, and then one of my very good friends, she just started a brand new job, and she was like, they need a director of operations. And I'm like, well, I have a master's. I used to be a site manager for JP Morgan, so I can do that job. And I went for the job. I applied. Although I had to go through 3 interviews, and each interview was approximately 4 hours long between waiting and actually conducting the interview. Those were signs, and I know that they were signs that that's not the place for me to go. But I went, and I'm glad that I did, because it allowed me to do something that I never imagined. If you can stand your second day and realize at a job that you don't belong there, that's how I felt. My second day, my second week, I told my supervisor, I don't belong here. And I did. I was very honest, because at that point I knew God was it was just like, you got to be honest, put it out there, you know. And by the time I met your sister, I met Bola, and she was really the inspiration. She was one of those people. I've never met anyone that quit their job. Like just quit their job, listen to God, follow their heart, and had an amazing job. So when I heard her story, although she didn't know that I was so captivated by her story. I was just like constantly, whenever she came to the school, I'm like, you know, can I just talk to you? I just wanted to be around her because of her energy. And I got the courage. August 12th, 2015, I walked away because I knew that the people that were calling me, I was not able to respond. I was not able to be a coach. I was not able to do any speaking engagements. So here I was sad. I was depressed. You know, I gained 20 pounds working there. And it was just like, no, we can't go backwards. And once I followed my heart, and I walked out on faith, and it was a huge leap, I just realized that this is what I'm supposed to do. And still, I didn't realize that this was God's purpose for me. It wasn't until I started to, you know, part of my personal development was actually for me to understand the Bible more. So in my book, I do speak about spiritual health because it was very, very critical. Like I said, from the first day, I just started praying, and I just got this different feeling. So when I tell people, you don't have to understand and know God personally, but you just need to believe that He's going to get you through it. And like I stated, when I meet those people who think, look, God is going to bless me so I can get this weight loss surgery, I go back and I go behind them and I pray that He doesn't. I pray that He gives them the strength, because I know the risk. I know I've met families that have lost loved ones because they had weight loss surgery from complications, blood poisoning, you know, you name it, I've heard it. So for me, I'm like, I don't want to see anyone go through that and have that risk of losing their life. Yes, we see all the success stories, but let's also talk about the people who are not here to tell their story. And I think that's why God puts me here. I went to a church last week and I became born again. And when I looked around that church, when I tell you, there were so many people in there that I was like, God, I know you're placing me in the right place, because these people need to hear my story. There were so many. The pastor, she had weight loss surgery. You can look in her eyes and tell that she's not happy. And here is a woman who is deep into her faith. She preaches the gospel. You know, she knows the Bible inside and out. And even when I said to her, I said, I need you to pray to Him and ask Him for that strength so that you can get over this. Because although you already had the surgery, you still don't, she's not living the lifestyle. And I keep telling people the surgery is just a tool. but it's the lifestyle that's going to come with the success. And until people understand that, when they look and they're going after products and they're looking for what's going to give me the weight loss, I keep telling them the answer lies within you. And as I just get closer, my biggest challenge and my biggest professional development is learning this. This is my challenge. And this is why every morning I wake up and I have to read a book in the Bible. I have to try to read a scripture, really understand, so that my messages are getting stronger, because I know that he has placed me here to guide his people. And the only way that, yes, they love the message, they love what I have to say, but now they're missing that piece. So Tanisha, can you compare it to a story about David? And I'm like, I don't know if I can. So I'm just like, you know what, God, you're right. I have to take that next step and really just strengthen my own understanding of your words, so that when people hear me, they are actually hearing you. And that's how I look at it. And that's why I just, healthy living, yes, drink the water, eat the vegetables, but it's just really embracing the lifestyle and understanding that there is a spiritual connection. And I think that's the one underestimated aspect. I was recently contacted by Dr. Osho, and they wanted me to, the lady was just so like, okay, so she was like, well, what else did you do? And I was like, well, I just had to have faith in God and believe that I can do it. Okay, well, okay, great, that's fine. But what did you do? And I said, but that's the answer. And I know that's the reason why they didn't choose me, but I'm okay with that, because there's going to be another show that's going to hear, and they want to hear Tanisha's truth. I'm not going to camouflage it. I will not downplay my story, and I will not eliminate him from it, because it was because of God. And this is the reason why I'm doing what I do each and every day. For me to walk away from making almost $100,000 to have faith that he is going to make sure that I will get to that next level that he wants me to be, then that's the only thing that I can do. And that's why I totally encourage people to continue to develop themselves, mind, body, and spirit, so that they can understand what is their true purpose. I meet so many women and men who are just, they're sad, and I'm like, do you know what your purpose is? I don't believe in that. My purpose won't pay my bills. And I'm like, it can, I'm like, it really can pay your bills if you have the faith, Yeah. One of my biggest supporters is my mom, and she still doesn't understand. She's like, how do you quit your job and you still have a mortgage to pay? And I said, yeah, you keep telling me to have faith in God. So I know I have to have faith that every month is going to get paid.
I'm just going to say this really quickly, because I know you're talking about some things in terms of health, and I'm going to give you, I'm loving, it never gets old. Your story never gets old, because it's inspiring. It's like one of those rags to riches stories, and sometimes people want this quick fix. Even with me, again, like I said, with the whole insanity video that I'm trying to make, is that sometimes I'm learning, like even like lifting weights, sometimes you have to, you plateau, and you have to do something even more. And like you said, the whole, even in Christendom, the whole connection, because again, I'm a licensed minister, but I always tell people the reason why I do the Bible is not out of religion. I would leave the church if it wasn't working for me. It's how do I make the Bible practical? How does this apply to me? And so it's sad when you, like you said, when you see people that they're saying the whole thing, I'm not being given the spirit of fear, but that of faith, love, and a sound mind, power, love, and a sound mind, but what does that mean? How does that, when you have to make it practical? And so when people don't see that power, they don't want to just see theory. Your life is miserable. You're miserable. You're not walking this thing out, so you're quoting these things. Yeah. Daniel did all these things. Good. How is that going to pay the bill? But when you see someone that is incorporating the practical with also what the word says, getting revelation, how do I use this word to better my life? People see that, and then, like you said, someone is gonna be willing to hear that truth and say, okay, how did you do it? And then you can glorify God in that. But it is sad when you go to, say, church or something like that. And again, the reason why, how does health play in this? Because you can't pursue your purpose, you can't be successful if your health is bad. It's very hard to do that. I had a friend, I was going to do some workshops with him. It didn't pan out, but he was doing health. And I said, the reason why I want to join with you, because I want to help people to be successful. But I know that finding your purpose is going to help you be successful because you have a desire to do that thing. You have a calling to do that thing. And so when people are clocking in and out of their work, you're going the extra mile. And that's one of the principles that you have, the ability to go the extra mile. And you're going the extra mile because you love what you do, you know, but they're not doing that. But I remember when I fell sick, you know, it was hard for me to get up and do my purpose because I was sick. And so when I heard your story and I've seen you try to motivate people, I'm like, this lady is persistent about this. And so I'm gonna let you keep talking about your story and what you're doing. But I want people that are looking at the topic and saying, oh, it's personal development. What role does personal development play in me pursuing my purpose? What does that have to do with weight loss or health, staying healthy? You can't pursue your purpose if you don't develop yourself. You can't pursue your purpose if your health is bad. You know, you have to invest, you have to develop yourself, you know, mentally and as well in your body.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I think that's the one thing I always encourage people to look at their idols. I said, look at the people that you idolize. I said, and really start to pinpoint, do your thorough research. All those people exercising. You know, one person that I really love and I love to follow is Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons, no one knew about yoga until Russell started talking about yoga. He did a whole layout, pictures, and that showed that he was taking not only his spiritual and his mind, but his body. And that added to his success. And when you start to see these people, you know, DJ Khaled, you know, I'm very close with the hip hop industry since I used to be a publicist. And I tell all of the young artists and DJs who are trying to come up, I said, look at everyone. Everyone is changing. You know, one of my old clients, CL Smooth at one time had a pudgy stomach. The last time I saw CL Smooth, he was ripped. And I asked him, he was like, Tanisha, I had to get healthy, you know, because I want to go on tour. I want to get healthy. I have to compete with Drake, you know, and I understand. And that's part of the success. So when people just think, you know, I love Eric Thomas. I don't know if you follow Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that I love his messages, but the one thing I can't agree with is the one he's like, no sleep, right? No sleep, no sleep. And I get it. But then I think he periscoped Tuesday because he was on Steve Harvey Monday. He periscoped Tuesday. He looks like he's about to crash. He does not look healthy. He looks tired. He looks drained. And I'm like, yes, you're successful. Everyone knows you. You're number 4, you're number 5 on the list. But look at how that is now starting to impact your health. When people tell you don't sleep, that's not healthy. When people tell you, you know, just keep going, that's not healthy. You eventually need to rest. So when people, you know, continue to ignore health and they don't see the relationship, no, your health is your success. Your health is going to add to your success. You know, when I working out gives me the opportunity to think of new ideas. I'm not in a gym just trying to get a six-pack and a perfect body. I need creative ideas now. I need a new way to reach people. So it's not really just working out to be sexy, but you gotta work out to clear your mind and get those ideas going. And when people don't see that connection, it just gives me even more of ambition to say, nope, gotta keep going. You know, there are days that I get defeated. There are days the devil comes and he's just like, just go get a job. Just find you a job, you know. And I'm like, nope, I can't do it. You know, I can't do it because I know there is someone out there who is sitting down as a receptionist with a master's. I met someone who had a master's degree and was a receptionist. And when I asked her on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with your life? She was like, I'm a 10, just like that. And I said, I was like, for someone to say that you're a 10, you just like, I'm a 10. And I said, you can't think that you're a 10. I said, you're not happy. I said, you have to love what you do. I said, you have talents and skills. I said, but you are just a receptionist. Just like how she said it to me, I'm just a receptionist. So people they would constantly run away from that fear of living their purpose. But I tell them, once you start getting healthy, you start feeding yourself the healthy foods, drinking the water, exercising, you're going to start to think differently. Your mind is not going to allow you to stay stagnant. You're not going to want to be that receptionist anymore. You're going to want to go out there and start pursuing your dreams. And that's one thing I want people to just constantly do. Live your dreams. They're not hard. It's a risk. It's scary, but surround yourself with people that are doing the same exact thing. The one thing that is hard for me is to not separate from my friends, but I'm the only one that's an entrepreneur. I'm the only one that's stepping out on faith. Everyone else is like, nope, I got to keep my job. And I totally understand. But now I have to gravitate to those people who are doing the same thing so that I can strengthen my message so that we together, we can go out there and we can change lives. You know, I want to change people's life and seeing how they can pursue health. I know Bola, she's just pursuing life and just making sure that educators and leaders understand you're doing amazing things. So it's like if we just all come together and just constantly show people that we can live our purpose and that you can be happy and you can be healthy, then that's where I think our mission is going to go further. I think 2015, people took a lot of risks. I saw a lot of people up and quit their jobs in 2015. But I think 2016, people are going to actually follow their hearts and they're going to step out on faith and try to live their purpose. And that's one thing that I'm very passionate about. And I want more people to just get healthy so that they can start to have that belief that they can take it to the next level.
Well, that's my prayer. And you know, sometimes when I read certain books, and my question for you is going to be, upcoming question is going to be, what are you doing? Maybe what have you done to get you this far? And what are you planning on doing to get, you know, in terms of personal development, to get your goals? But I want to say this because I know you brought up even Eric Thomas and certain people. You know, sometimes when I read books, they say only 5% of people and, you know, 2% of people. Unfortunately, there's a small percentage of people that even, you know, believe in these kind of messages, or have the courage, take the courage, because it takes, like you said, you're here now, but it took something when you think about where you were before you took that leap of faith, you know. And then even people who are supposed to be believers or Christians telling you, you know, does that make sense? Is that, you know, is that the right thing to do? You know, can you really make money and have your purpose? I'll share this in terms of personal development. So there are 3 things that I'm working on in terms of my business. That's my coaching, my writing, and my speaking. So I'm developing myself intentionally in those 3 areas. I mean, give an example. I have a book here by Dale Carnegie on effective speaking. I joined Toastmasters, stepped out and did that. You know, again, it's not just like a shotgun, just going wild with your intentional and with your development. Is saying, okay, what am I purpose to do? And how can I develop myself intentionally? I give this example. My last place of employment, which is kind of funny, that place doesn't exist anymore. It sounds funny, but it doesn't exist anywhere. Because, you know, I was working in an institution, a college. I'm not going to mention any names, but, you know, people started getting let go. There was a guy that I knew. He got let go. They brought him back. He got let go again. I was like, something is up here, you know. It was like, and people were still living their lives as if I don't want to step up because that's not guaranteed. My purpose is not guaranteed. As if their job is guaranteed.
Exactly.
You know, so these people are getting let go. And after a while, I just started to develop myself, because one time my director called me into an office. She says, hey, Wale, I need you to help me with a task. I'd been there for about 5 years. I'd mastered what I was doing in like about a year or so. And I got in there, and Wallace says, really? Yep. And I got in there and I was helping her with this project. And as I was doing it and finishing up, she leaned back in her chair. She says, you know, Wale, you're a master at this. And I thought about this book. I don't know if you've read it, by Malcolm Gladwell, called The Outliers. The Outliers? He says, The Outliers. He says, basically, you have to do something about 1,000 hours to master it. And I thought to myself, why in the world am I mastering a job that I don't? I said, if I put this kind of effort, you know, Jim Rohn puts it this way, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. He says, if you work harder on your job, you make a living. If you work harder on yourself, you make a fortune. Amen. So I was like, I'm going to start putting effort in myself. And it was just funny, because after then they let me go. the day they let me go, I was saying, I'm going to start a business May 1st. This was last year.
Mm-hmm.
They let me go, and they said, your last day is May 1st. I was like, hey, come on, I want the confirmation. Now, has it been easy? No, not necessarily. But I'm going to talk about this book that I'm reading. And I know I heard Bola is going to be taking a course. It's called Think and Grow Rich, The Journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll talk about the assignment he has on that in terms of personal development. But after that, some people are looking, oh, I'm sad. I'm sorry for you. I was like, I'm happy. I'm free. Bola was like, yay, you're free and everything. So next thing I heard, next quarter, they let people go. People that were like directors, and the next quarter after that, they let people go. Now I got a text at the beginning of the year that basically school closed down, that branch.
Wow.
Everybody was gone except one individual that I was told. So I was like, these are people that were not, it's kind of, and I was telling one dude, it's kind of sad because I don't even have kids right now, but you have kids. What are you going to do in your life? Not just for you, but for your kids, so that, someone gave a definition of inheritance. They said inheritance prevents 2 or more generations from working for the same thing. Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do differently that is going to basically help your children or other people start off right? What are you doing? What are you sitting on? What gifts and talents are you sitting on? But I'll say one of the reasons why people don't do it is because, even when you start this stuff, you're scared to step out of the boat. But even when you start this stuff, you want to quit sometimes. And one of the assignments that they have on this, Paula put it on there, TGAR. I think it's www.tgar. That's Think and Grow Rich Journey.com. And you can start. It starts this Friday. But one of the assignments that he has us doing here is read a chapter in this book on persistence. You have to read it every day for 14 days. That same chapter, you have to be persistent to do that. Yeah.
I know Bola read it like 14 times.
But Bola, you got to read it every day though. You can't cheat. You can't read it 14 times in one day. That's the point of being persistent. So last night I was here till after 9. My wife had left the office because I'm in the office. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm heading home. Are you not heading home? I was like, I'll walk you to your car. I don't want to leave here until I'm done reading that chapter because it's teaching me to be persistent. And I had to really think to myself, am I really being persistent? Because that's one key he says that you have to get your goals, to get your dreams, to get those things. And he says there are 4 things you have to do. First thing, you have to have a definite purpose and a burning desire. And that just means you have to know what you want and why you want it. You have to have plans that you work on continuously. Like you said, when you're thinking, should I get a job? You're doing this. I see you doing videos. I'm like, dang, she does videos like maybe every day or every other day. I'm like, whoa. And she doesn't care who's watching. She's like, I'm going to give you, some of you are mad at me, but I'm going to give you another video.
Trust me. Gonna give you I've had people block me.
I'm going to give you another video. It reminds me of, and this is scripture, it reminds me of when Joseph had a dream. And his brothers got mad. And then if you look in, I think it's Genesis 37 or 35. And this it says, Joseph had a dream. His brothers got mad. And then yet he had another dream. And he told them again. He said, oh, I know you got mad last time I did this, but here's another.
That's it.
So I want to know with you, what are you doing in terms of your personal development? What have you done? And then what are you doing to take Shanae from where she is? Tanisha, from where she is to where you see yourself going?
So the first thing, like I stated, learning the Bible, that's my biggest goal that I've started since last year. And I've just been really, really persistent on that. And you're right. You have to be persistent and consistent. Those 2 are things together, because we can be persistent for 3 days and then you lose sight for 4. So you have to just do this every single day. And that's why I challenge myself. Now, for me to embrace being in the spotlight, one of my goals is to do the videos every day. And I'm actually taking it to the next level. So in New York, we have our subways, and I am challenging myself. And I know this is I have not done it yet, but I'm challenging myself to start speaking even on the train, because I know that that's an audience. I'm one of those people. I'm not looking for you to just give me money, but I want people to just hear it, because you see people who are in pain and they need help. So sometimes you can just have, and I know for me, it's very challenging to get out and just talk to someone and just say, hi, how are you? That's not me. I can do it for other, like when I was a publicist, it was easy for me to contact and speak on behalf of my client. For me to step up to do that. So speaking. My boyfriend, some days he's like, who are you talking to? And I was like, I'm speaking. And he's like, to who? I said, I am a speaker, so I must speak every day.
Yes.
So even if I have no audience, I have to speak every day. So constantly realizing that. And there are certain books that I tend to I go back to, and one of the books that I constantly read is Too Blessed to Be Stressed. Now, this is one of the books that I love, and my mom actually gave me this book like early 2000s, but I recently read it again for 2 times, and at the end of 2015, because of the fact that I knew I'm a very stressful person. I'm a worrier just by nature. That's who I am. So I need to just continue to surround myself and understand that you have to just let that go. You can't keep running when you are hit with one roadblock. And when people block me, I used to be really offended. Like, why would you block me? I'm just trying to help you. But then I just understood that even those, everyone didn't like Jesus. They didn't believe in him. So I'm just like, it is what it is. So it's just challenging myself to do the things that is going to get me to that point where I'm just comfortable. I'm now to the point where wherever I go, I'm always prepared to speak. I have always something to say. So as a speaker, you have to constantly just practice your craft and understand. The one person, I believe it was Will Smith. He stated that everyone has a talent, but you have to master that talent. You have to, and even he stated, he was like, he doesn't think he's the most talented actor, which is true, but he is so dedicated. He's persistent. He's consistent to make it so that regardless of what, I was very surprised this last July 4th. Actually, I was like, July 4th. I said, Will Smith doesn't have a movie coming out? Because we got so accustomed to every July 4th, he was coming out with some movie. So we have to just take that same understanding, because I watch people and I'm like, they're a horrible speaker, but they just got paid $10,000. Why? Because they practiced, they were persistent, they were consistent. They were not the most talented, but they were the most skilled, and they did not give up. And that's the thinking that I'm taking now. I know that I have the ability. I know that I have the talent, and now I just have to take it to the next level, so that person who's getting $10,000 and they don't have the most amazing message, I need to now go and take their place, because I have a message that's going to change the world. And that's the kind of thinking. And I think when people understand that, when you're a writer, get up every day and write. Take writing classes. I know singers who feel like, oh, I'm the best singer, I don't need to take singing lessons. No, you do. You do need to. Again, we see so many artists out there who are making it. They're on tour and they're not talented. They can't sing a cappella. But guess what? They are still making money. That amazing, talented singer is sitting at home or working at McDonald's, mad and angry. And I've seen it. I've seen so many people. You just look at them. You're just like, I met this amazing makeup artist at Macy's. And I was just like, your makeup is flawless. I'm like, I don't wear makeup, so I can. And she was like, oh, I do my own makeup. I was just like, what? I said, why do you work here? And she was like, oh, because this is just a job. And, I do want to do makeup, but it's so hard. I said, it's not hard. I said, I know people out there who work at Sephora and they can't do makeup to save their life, but they are actually getting clients who are contacting them and celebrities who are paying them to do their makeup. So just imagine the opportunities that you're missing out on. So if you love it, then you have to wake up on purpose. And if you don't have a purpose, just stay in bed until you figure it out. Because I think that's the only way the world is going to actually. We have so many people who are just angry going to jobs. I always say that I used to hate the feeling of sitting on the side of my bed, counting how many sick days I had. I used to hate sitting on the side of my bed, trying to figure out how can I flex my day or what excuse can I use to call out. That's not a healthy feeling. That is part of stress. That is going to cause you to have hypertension, even if you don't eat food with salt. So when people realize that you have to follow your heart, take the chance, take the risk. These jobs, yes, they will pay you. And guess what? When they pay you more above the industry level, then that's where you're going to find the most stress. That's where you're going to find, and people will continue to utilize that because they know people want money. So I'm going to pay you $85,000 for a job that in regular is going to be 65. But now I'm going to give you 100 more tasks. I'm going to keep you here for 12 hours a day. And I want to call you on Saturday and Sundays. That's not healthy. And that's what people are dealing with. And they're just like, well, I got to go to work. I got to go to work. I love the fact that when I get up, that I don't have to go to someone else's job. I love the fact that when I get up, that I'm preparing myself to do another message and to speak encouragement, to speak empowering words to someone who is thinking that they can't change their life. Marketing companies, Herbalife and all of those, they contact me and they try to get me to endorse their products. And I tell them I will come and I will speak to the people that you're working with, not the clients to try to get. I said, but I want them to see what I've done is that I've taken the same strategies I've utilized to lose the weight and I've applied them to live in my purpose, to become successful. I said, that's where I will add value. I said, I can't add value telling someone to drink shakes because I lost 150 pounds with no products. I did a straight healthy living and that's what I did. So I would never endorse that. But let me help your team so that they can be so successful and they can now take those same strategies and apply it to their personal life. That's it. And those are the things that I'm doing. I'm constantly speaking. I'm constantly out there just trying to just believe and understand my own faith and my own purpose that God has set in me, because I was at a crossroad, and Bola can tell you, it was very challenging for me. I didn't understand. I would have to call her and other people, and I'm just like, is this what God really wants? I'm like, do he really speak these type of words into people, and he just wants you to go out there and do work for him? I didn't understand that. But they have helped me, and that's why I have to just continue to develop myself and understand the word, understand his purpose, and just keep believing in myself. So as I am being persistent, I'm being consistent. Believe it or not, half of those messages are for me. It's not only for everyone else. I listen now to my own messages because I know that that message came from God, and I need part of that message as well. So don't think that I don't go back. I might not look at the video, but I will at least listen to myself. And I'm just like, Tanisha, you're right. You know what? That's right. You can't give up. You got to be accountable. Monday's message, be accountable, be accountable, be accountable. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I just want people to just know. Be persistent, be consistent, know your passion, love it, embrace it, but also develop it. Take the time to actually develop it. And one other thing that I will be doing is I'm joining John Maxwell team this year. Yes. Because also part of my message is living intentionally. So that was one of, finding the right source that will allow me to even enhance and develop that aspect of my craft, is understanding, okay, we gotta do this. We gotta do this. I know, Bo, I'm coming. But that's something else that I have to do too.
Wow, you said a lot of things, and let me just touch on some of the things that you said. I love in terms of development. I love that you said, and it reminded me of Les Brown. When you said, and I did that. I find myself doing that. I'm glad and I'm grateful that I have a pastor, someone that can invest in me and say, but seeing he saw me reading the books. He saw me doing videos. He saw me doing certain things and says, what is it that you're trying to do? And let me help you. And so he says, okay, try and preach a sermon. And let's see if that's you, a speaker. And so he's investing in me as a speaker. And now he's trying to write a book with me, like in terms of writing and things like that. So it's good to have people like that. But I love what you said, where your boyfriend came in and was like, what are you doing? I'm speaking. And it reminded me of Les Brown, when Les Brown said, when I didn't have an audience, he figured out what is the one thing that I want to do that will bring me the greatest return. And he said, you know what, speaking. And so many times we're distracted because we're We are working for someone else. It says, build your dreams. The statement that says, build your dreams or someone else will pay you to build theirs. Build your dreams or someone else will pay you to build theirs. So he said, I'm going to be a speaker. He said he was speaking to his plants. He would go to a neighborhood. He would speak to people's plants. Then he started speaking to little kids. You know, they didn't know better. They'd be like, yeah, we love you. You know, he said one day before he even went into speaking, like you said, there's some people that are getting paid a lot. And some of these messages that we speak, and I'm going to speak on that, like you said, you listen to your messages because it's you're growing too. And I want to encourage someone that the things we're talking about, you can do it part-time. Even if you don't go full-time, you don't have the faith to do it full-time yet, at least start part-time.
Yes.
And understand that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Like I had that thought, I've been here for 5 years perfecting something I don't want. What will happen if I decide I want to start working? It's almost been a year and I've seen the growth. What's going to happen 5 years from now with my talent as a writer? If we come back and do another blab, where are we going to be as speakers, you know, as coaches? Where will we be? Herbalife, Dr. Oz shows, people calling you because you're stepping out. Would they have called you if you were still working for someone and not doing what you're doing? So you have better opportunities. But he was saying that he was listening to a speaker and this guy was so boring and that the guy next to him was falling asleep. And he looked at this guy and says, wow, this guy is really bad. The guy that was falling asleep next to him happened to be that guy's brother-in-law.
Oh, wow.
And he just woke up from the sleep. He was like, man, you should be as boring as this guy and get paid what he gets paid. He says, how much does he get paid? He says he gets paid $5,000. This was back then. He says, this guy gets $5,000 to speak and he's this horrible. He said that the speaker said this. He said, I know some of you are looking at me and saying, man, this guy is horrible. He's boring. He's tired. That's what the speaker said. He says, but you know what? I represent the part of you that wants to do this, but for whatever reason, you don't get up to do it.
That's it.
So he said after that day, he says, I'm going to do it. If this guy can do it, I'm going to do it. So just want to encourage people. And then he also said something about associations. You're talking about Bola and different people that helped you. You know, you didn't, because you were at a very infantile stage. You were very, you know, it was like you could have been, your dream could have been like a stillborn, you know, because if you associate yourself with the wrong people that say, nah, don't do that. It's not possible. Don't. I tried it 5 years ago. It didn't work. But you were people that did it, that were motivating and saying, keep going. So we're wrapping up really shortly. I want you to go ahead and just, you know, give a last word to someone that's saying, I really want to do what you're doing, whether it's in terms of weight loss. I want 2016 to be different. I've had goals in terms of weight loss. And you also talked about purpose. I have goals in terms of purpose, but I'm scared, you know. So speak to that person first that's scared to even step out. And then next, if you would, speak to the person that has stepped out, but they're thinking about quitting. Because, you know, if I don't get a job in the next 1 week, like, I thought things would be faster. So those two people that are not stepped out into their purpose to develop themselves, to pursue their purpose, and then those people who have stepped out and are thinking of retreating because it's harder than they thought.
Well, I'll start off like this. The one thing that my mom always told me from the time that I was battling weight loss is you have to understand you didn't gain the weight overnight. You're not going to lose it overnight. Same thing with success. We can't get success overnight. There are very few people that are actually successful overnight. So you have to work for that success. And for the person that is looking to lose the weight in 2016, one, I want you to wake up knowing that you can do it. Stop allowing your surroundings to block you. And we allow relationships, work, stress, anything to stop us from keeping that goal. I want you to know that whatever you're battling, you know that you're a diabetic. Think about all of those worries. Think about all of the pills that you're taking right now, all of the medication that and the doctor's visits that you're constantly taking to continue Think about having a life where you can go to the doctor once, maybe twice a year. Think about where you don't have to fulfill prescriptions. And now you can take that money and buy you healthier foods or buy you clothing. Think about it from that standpoint, because I think we don't realize how much money we spend in our medical care when we are unhealthy. I want you to think about the uncomfortable moments when you went shopping and nothing fit, when you got on that airplane and the seatbelt extender didn't fit. Think about those moments so that when you wake up in the morning, you will know, I have to do this because I don't want to experience this. I'm tired of sitting in the doctor's office for hours. I'm tired of spending my money. Think about being tired of that unhealthy life and just go forward. That water is not going to be as hard to drink. Those vegetables are not going to be so disgusting. You're going to start to love exercising and have fun when you're exercising. I think that's the problem. People just tend to run to the gym. I have a hula hoop. I have a jump rope in my house. I put some music on. I have fun with it. So you have to stop looking at it as a diet and look at it as, this is something I just need to live for the remainder of my life on this earth. So for 2016, just do it different. Just wake up, think about all of those uncomfortable moments, and you will be able to go so far because you're going to run away from that life. You're going to run away from all of those illnesses. For the person who wants to give up, I understand. I know 100% how that feeling comes so natural. You have to just believe that if this is something that you truly want, you have to wake up every morning wanting that. You have to wake up every morning thinking about, okay, this didn't work. So what else can I do? One time I ran an ad, and I was looking at the results. I received maybe 3% clicks in the US. And I was just like, no one's watching I forgot, I think it was the video. No one's watching, and this is ridiculous. I only got 3% in the US. But guess where the other 97% came from? Jamaica.
Where is that?
Jamaica. I was just like, when I started to do my research. So what you have to do is look at that negative and actually find that positive. And once you find that positive, take that energy and now you run with it. That 3%, don't worry about that 3%. But let's utilize where the 97% is actually being used. That means that there is an entire audience that you are eliminating, that you're not even thinking about. I added them to the post expecting to see 97% the US and 3% Jamaica, and it was the opposite. So see your failures as actual success and take that and run. Don't look at the moments, look at your checking account and just say, God, I thank you for the way my checking account looks today, and I know that it will not stay this way. Yes. I am working hard, and I think that's one of the challenges that people have, is that we fear of not having the money, and we always we always say things like, I don't have enough. The one thing I have learned is the language. You can't say I'm broke. You got to stop saying you're not broke. You are so full of resources. You are not to the point where you're broken. You have to look and say, I have enough. I have food in my house. I have a roof over my head. So guess what, God? Thank you. Now I'm going to take this energy and now I'm going to go so that I can multiply what I do have. And I think if we continue having that mindset, when you have those days when you feel like giving up and going on Craigslist and career builders to find a job, just go back, pick up the Bible, start believing in yourself, start praying, start asking for guidance. And now you can go and you can move forward. And then the last thing, for those people who are at that crossroad where they don't know, build your support and get the right support. Reach out to people that are doing exactly what you're doing, but they're so successful. The beautiful thing about social media is that you can meet anyone nowadays. So you have to find those people and you have to keep liking them, keep following them, keep retweeting, keep commenting. Eventually they're going to comment back. I've had celebrities, oh my gosh, congratulations on your weight loss. Selena Johnson, she just lost 50 pounds and I posted my picture in her post and she sent me a message. You go, girl. Like, you go ahead, Sora, because she's one of my sorority sisters. People are looking. So they just need you to reach out to them. Contact them and don't be afraid and expand that network. Get the friends who are doing what you're doing, and sadly, just limit the interaction with the ones who are not. You don't have to get rid of them. You still have relationships, but now you want to just continue to have that that entrepreneurship mindset and discussions, living your purpose. When I tell some of my friends live their purpose, Tanisha, I don't want to hear about that. Fine. Let me call Bola, because Bola's going to understand your purpose, so you have to have that. And that's how you get through, have the faith, have that support, and just continue to believe in yourself. And you will see, like you stated, you invest 5 years in an organization and you don't reach. I know people who work 5 years and never get a raise.
Yeah.
Okay. So you stay at the same pay grade for 5 years, but you won't take 5 months to try to develop and build your craft so that you can now take whatever salary you had at that job and multiply it by 10. So people have to just have that faith, have that energy, just wake up every morning, even when you don't feel like it. You have to wake up and say, you know what, today I got to do something towards my purpose. So constantly stay active, stay proactive, stay consistent, and stay persistent, and you will start to see the results that you want.
Wow. I'm not even going to try and top that. You said so many things. I'm glad that we're recording this because I hope that people will take the time. I know Bola said that so many people will be blessed by this message from the both of you.
Thank you, Bola.
I'm really hoping that people will, because this is the kind of message that I had to listen to day in and day out. Because I think you get to a point where you said, like you said, it sounds like even in terms of your weight loss, you said, I've had it. Something has got to change. And for you have to have gotten to a point where you said you had it mentally, because you took all your stuff from the fridge and from the pantry and you tossed it out. So even in terms of success, because there's some people that are successful, but they can even, just like I said, you can plateau in terms of lifting weight, losing weight, your success, your relationships. And I think that sometimes is when it's subtle like that, it's when it's deceptive. So, being able to invest in yourself to say, I am ready to take the next step. And maybe you can speak to that. I know we have about 3 minutes or so. What roadblock do you see that people, because I know that I see you talking to people, and you made a very, very interesting statement. And I know you're talking about how, because you said that in the beginning, how do I tie the Bible in with, the things I'm trying to do in terms of my weight loss. But some people that you try to reach out to, like you said, the 97% came from Jamaica, but you wanted to come out of the United States. And it reminded me of Paul, who's in the Bible, who was Saul, then he became Paul. And he wanted to reach out to the Jewish people. But every time he went there, they stoned him, they beat him. So he would have to go to the Gentiles. And those are the people that are taking his message. And it also reminded me of a coach who said that when he started, he had a mindset of, this is my target market. These are the people that I want to reach. But sometimes a message, there's certain people that will say, that's me, you're my coach. And you remember, and he was saying it was Avon ladies. And he was like, no, I don't want you guys. I want these fellas over here. And so he couldn't be choosy. He had to go to the people that wanted his message. And so that sounds like, what happened in your case. So to close things out, what have you found is some of the biggest obstacles that prevent people from investing? Like you're a coach. Why wouldn't somebody, they've seen you, they want to do what you've done. Why wouldn't they invest their time, their energy, and yes, their finances to invest in someone like you and say, hey, I want what you have. Show me how you did it. Because there's a lady we had on last week. Her name was Revel, great lady. And she was saying she had to invest in mentorship. And she says, one of the things that I did was, sometimes people think that mentorship and coaching and things has to be free, especially like even in the church and stuff like that. But what she was saying was that, no, I had to pay good money for this quality mentorship. Like if you look at my Facebook post, there's a picture of me with Les Brown. Yeah, he invested in me, but I had to pay money. You're going to be investing in John Maxwell, but you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to give your time, your energy, and so what are some of the roadblocks really quickly that you found that people, as we wrap up, that you found that prevent people from investing in themselves to say, okay, I'm going to do this. This is going to be different. I'm going to live my dreams. I want to live my purpose.
Well, definitely finances is always the number one factor. People always think, well, I don't have the money. And the one thing I always tell is that we all have an opportunity to make money without really going and doing anything extra at work. We all have a natural talent. So when I'm faced with that roadblock where clients are like, oh, that's too expensive, I don't think I can afford that, I'll challenge them and I say, well, what can you do right now? Name 5 things that you can do to start generating additional income. Some people, they'll say nothing. They're like, I can't make anything. And I'm like, no, you can. And once they open up their eyes to see that they have to stop limiting their mindset altogether, then they will be able to afford anything that they truly desire. So it's definitely it's the finances, and it's just the mindset that this is the way I'm supposed to be. When you invest in a coach, your coach is going to help you to reshape and rethink and reshape your mindset, allow you to see life from a whole different. I have a coach. My coach, I have to invest in her because she invests in me, and she provides me with tools and strategies so that I can overcome my obstacles. That's exactly what I do for my clients. They feel as though it's not possible. They feel as though I'll never lose 20 pounds. And I'm like, I lost 150 pounds. So when you have that mindset, then you're not going to be successful like you want to be. So it's just really, it's really just people just don't believe in themselves. And again, it goes back to just having that faith that you can actually do it. Finances will always be a factor, but guess what? You have the opportunity to make those changes. We spend things that we don't need to. Everyone goes, and I'm a Starbucks girl, and I had to scale back, and now I have my K-cups, and I make my coffee at home. It's the same thing. I have to make an investment somewhere else. So this is what we have to do. Start making an investment in you that's going to add value to your long-term success, not just weight loss, overall success in life. And when you make that investment, you will see the results if you utilize the tools that they give you. Because I know people who will invest in programs and they'll take all the tools and they never apply it. To actually work the program that the people are given and the tools that they're providing you so that you can see it. So roadblocks were constantly, but like my coach and everyone else that I could surround myself, you have to just keep pushing yourself to find the people that need you and that are ready to take that next step, and still do whatever I can to help the other ones until they catch up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I'm probably gonna re-listen to this. It's just been a wealth of information.
Thank you.
Just for free, just to be able to give that out. I know your Bola says me too, and I know your time is very precious. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up. Again, hopefully this will not be the last time. We can do something, and we'll see. One of the goals that I have for this year is to network with people who are doing and wanting to do great things. Like you said, sometimes you may have existing relationships, and you're trying to take them with you to the next level, but they don't want to go. They fall off. So you have to find people who are doing what you want to do, in different tiers. And some people you minister to, some people you can collaborate with, and some people you get mentorship from. So, so your messages are inspiring and motivating.
Well, no, that's the one thing. And you're actually in Florida, and right now my team, we're trying to get some speaking engagements down there now. So we're gonna make this work a little bit faster.
Okay.
And plus, I need the warm weather. It's too cold up here.
Awesome. Well, let me know because not a lot of people are consistent. Like I've seen you being consistent and persistent and are purposeful and are trying to help other people. So again, thanks for having me. I know your time is precious. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
And thank you once again. Thank you guys, everyone. It's a little bit past the hour.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
So until next time.
Have a great Thursday.
Have a great Thursday, everyone.
Tell Mom hi.